Are you potentially consuming large amounts of mold every day and you don't know it? Let's get into it. So mycotoxins are toxic chemicals that are naturally produced by some fungi, for example, molds, different types of mold. And what this can do to you is it can suppress your immune system, it can damage your DNA, and really wreak havoc on your nervous system. Now, most people, when they think of mold, they think of inhalation. And yes, that is the number one way that we do get mycotoxin illness. You can get it through breathing, through the lungs, through your skin, your largest organ. There's multiple ways that mold can enter our body. For today, we're going to be talking about the foods that we are eating. Now, if you've been following my channel and some of my other videos, you'll see that I talk a little bit about mold because I am on this journey myself. So I've been on this journey now for probably a year and a half, and I've been slowly kind of detoxing mycotoxins out of my body. Now, from the lab testing that I've done, there's different types of mycotoxins, but mine is predominantly through inhalation from water damaged building. But now, if somebody like me who knows that I have these different mycotoxins in my body, and then I'm going and eating something that also has mold in it, it's really going to pull me back on my journey to recovery. So let's talk about some foods, and bear with me because I've got my notes here. I want to make sure I'm giving you the correct information. So here is a list of some of the major mycotoxins affecting the food chain. Now, some of these things too, you're thinking, I'm eating that. That's healthy. It still could have mycotoxins in it. So the first one that we're talking about is aflatoxins. So produced by Aspergillus, mold species can be found in contaminated beans, corn, rice, tree nuts, wheat, milk, eggs, and meat due to animals consuming contaminated feed, right? Peanuts are one of the most well-known sources of aflatoxins. Symptoms from exposure to aflatoxins can include gastrointestinal dysfunction, liver damage, mental impairment, hemorrhage, and cancer. So that is aflatoxins. The next one we have here is fumonism. Fumonism. I'm going to say all of these wrong, you guys. Okay. Fusarium mold species produce fumonism, which is often found in coffee beans. How many of you drink a cup of joe every morning, right? Coffee is one of the worst. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that you can't drink your coffee, but go for a mold-free coffee. And I'll add a couple of links here of coffee that is mold-free and it tastes great. Coffee beans and grains, including corn and wheat. Exposure can lead to general malaise, abdominal distress, diarrhea, and vomiting. Ochratoxin A. This is one that I've been really struggling with on my labs. I've been able to kind of, get most of them down. My ochratoxin keeps going on. And here's the thing, when you start binding and you start a protocol, you might see that these levels are going up and you're like, why are these levels going up? I'm binding. It's because you're actually pulling it out. You're pulling it out of the fat. You're pulling it out of the cells. So that's not unusual. So ochratoxin made by Aspergillus and penicillium, it is toxic to the kidneys and immune system and contributes to cancer. Cereals, grape juice, dairy, spices, wine, dried vine fruit, and coffee are often found to be contaminated with ochratoxin A. I'm going to say this one wrong because I always say it wrong. Trisothecines. This is the largest group of mycotoxin produced by several different molds, including Fusarium and Stachybotrys. I'm going to say that one wrong too. I just call it Stachy. So Stachy is black mold. Common food sources include corn, wheat, barley, oats, rice, rye, and safflower seeds. They cause damage to the gastrointestinal and nervous systems. Zearalenone, known hormone disruptor produced by Fusarium species, mainly affects the reproductive system. So foods most commonly found known to be high in mycotoxins include grains, including corn, wheat, barley, rye, alcoholic beverages, nuts, including peanuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts, sugar, sugarcane and sugar beets, hard cheeses, coffee beans, chocolate, dried fruit. Now, here's another thing too. People always think like, I'm getting organic, so it must be healthier and better for me. So no, mold does not kind of choose organic, not organic. So you could be buying organic and you still are getting mold on that product. So just be leery of that. So what can you do? What can you do to make sure that you are not eating mold? Well, first example is coffee. So you can go into Google and type in mold-free coffee. And here's the thing, look at the reviews, kind of check it out, what people are saying. Is it really mold-free? You'll know too. So if you buy that once, and whether you react or not, for me personally, I do react. Maybe you don't. But take a look at the reviews. There are things that are actually, because it's becoming, mold is such an issue with so many people, there are a lot of companies that are, they're advertising mold-free now. Now, whether they are mold-free or not, you've got to do your own research on that. So purchase from food companies that value and prioritize quality. Eat a diverse diet, rotating the types of food that you eat. Again, coffee is one that most of us probably have every morning and you're not giving that up. Buy freshest food possible, ideally local and organic, but like I said, organic can still have mold in it. Avoid keeping foods for extended periods of time before using. Store food properly. Avoid storing in obviously warm, moist environments. Keep your detox pathways open. And pay attention to how your body feels when you eat certain foods. This is a learned skill and challenging initially if somebody is already sick. So as I mentioned, water-damaged buildings are the -- source that we get mycotoxins in our body, but it's not the only source. Food can become a problem for people who their body is already burdened, and whether, it's not just if you've necessarily been, diagnosed with mycotoxin illness, it could be some other kind of chronic challenge that you're having with your body, and then just continually eating these foods that are suppressing your immune system and really hard on your body, and your body isn't detoxed or getting out. It's just accumulating, right? Like it's just adding to that. So we do really have to be aware of what we're eating. I'll say it time and time again, food is medicine, but just be aware of mold isn't always something that is growing in your refrigerator. It can kind of be hidden, so just be aware of what you're eating, where you're purchasing it from. And I'd love to hear if this is a topic that you want to hear more about, then, please let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on my latest video. Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye.